Coaches, just want to walk through some of the requirements that the state of Nebraska and then also the NSA requires that all coaches have. They are different whether you are a head coach for high school or for junior high. Similarly, if you are a high school assistant coach or a junior high assistant coach as well. So I just want to walk through these steps with you. At this point in time, you've probably received an email fairly similar to the one you see now on the screen with several steps. Really, you can usually break these steps down into four main categories. So I'm just going to walk through each of them with you. Step one, you can see, is watching this video that you're already doing and then reading the attachments that are attached to this video. Those attachments include the following items. This right here, this coaching requirements document for Lincoln Christian School. It includes each of the following items for head coaches, assistant coaches. Please do refer to the pages that apply to you and read through in detail each of the requirements. You will see a checklist at the top of the page and then each of the items broken down separately. So assistant coaches here, and then we go to coaches, aides, and then junior high head coach, sponsors, so on and so forth, junior high assistant coach. The other attachment to that email is this item right here, which is the detailed step-by-step process of obtaining a special services certificate for coaching. Now, this is only a requirement if you do not already have a valid Nebraska teaching certificate or a valid Nebraska administrative certificate or some sort of provisional trade certificate. If you do not have those, you do have to go to the Department of Education's website and file an application for a special services certificate for coaching. Each of those steps that are needed to be filled out prior to submitting the application are detailed here in this attachment. Please look through that and read. If you have already had one for 5 years and you just need to recertify yourself, those steps are also here as well, renewing a special services certificate for coaches. So those are the items that are attached to this email. Please read through those after watching this video. Now, once you've done step one, now we get down to the nitty-gritty of it all. Some of the forms that will need to be filled out. One is a van driving form. In order for us to have coaches be able to drive the vans during the season, we just need you to take 5 minutes and fill out this form here. It's just the coach/sponsor personal driving information form. You'll put your email address, your name, date of birth, your home address, your cell phone number, and then also attach a copy of your driver's license and proof of car insurance. This is going to be an annual form, so if we ask you to do it for a second year in a row, just understand it's 5 minutes. Please just fill it out quickly, attach the required documents and information. We appreciate it. After that step, you will then go to your specific link. Whether you're a head high school coach, head junior high coach, assistant coach, click on those links and it'll have step-by-step information that actually is the same as these requirements here that you read through previously. Now, those requirements in this coaching requirements document, you will then need to have done prior to submitting this link right here. This form here, you can see, has all that same information of items that you need. You have to have that special services certificate done prior to submitting this form. You have to have some classes taken as well. You're going to fill this out, add all the attachments needed. This form in and of itself will only take about 5 minutes, but you will notice some of the requirements that it entails. For instance, it asks you to upload that Department of Education coaching certificate. You will go to the NDE website, Nebraska Department of Education website, and then you will need to open up an application with them and submit through them. You also need to take a couple NFHS courses, specifically a concussion and sports class. You'll click on this link and or go to their website, take the class. This class is about 1 hour to 2 hours. You will also need to take the heat illness prevention class and then the sudden cardiac arrest course. Those 3 courses are free of charge. They will take about 1 hour to 2, so please divvy out your time appropriately and parse those out. Then when you are done, save the certificate you will see at the end and upload those to this form here. Once you've done that, head coaches, this specifically applies to you, you will need to attend an NSA rules meeting. You'll just simply plug in the date that you attended that NSA rules meeting, hit submit, and then the school will let you know if there's anything else that still needs to be done. Now, in addition to those requirements, if we were to go back to our coaching requirements booklet here, you will notice that there are several requirements that head coaches need to have done. One is a written contract of employment. Now that falls upon the school to provide you, and that contract will look something very similar to this form here. It's called Lincoln Christian Volunteer Agreement. Now we understand that there is a stipend that is involved, but this is the form that you will see and that you will receive and need to submit back to the school signed. Then every 3 years, you will have to take those NFHS courses that we just reviewed, the concussion in sports, the heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest training courses, and then attend an NSA rules meeting. There are a couple more steps right after that that would need to be accomplished as well. One, if this is your first year coaching at Lincoln Christian and you've never received a paycheck or a stipend from the school, then you will need to go into the business office, take your driver's license, social security card, and a blank check with you for direct deposit. Lastly is a background check form. Now that background check form is attached to the email that you received as well. To refer back to that, we've got the background check right here. Click on that link and it'll take you to a form that looks very similar to this. Now, I do encourage you to read this information, but to summarize it, it simply says that once you fill this form out with your name, social security number, date of birth, driver's license number, and your present address, you will then be sent 2 follow-up emails. And that's 2 follow-up emails. Those emails only take about 10 minutes to complete, so 20 minutes in total. So once you've submitted this form, once again, there will be 2 more emails. One of them will be from Nebraska DHHS, and the other one will be from OneSource. That is our background check company. Please fill those out immediately. As soon as you receive those, every time 5 days passes and somebody hasn't completed those, the school actually has to pay to have those links resent. So as soon as you see those come through, fill those forms out immediately. If you don't see them within a couple days, please let us know. There might have been a miscommunication or a communication failure somewhere. So please let us know if you do not receive these so that we can follow up on that immediately. Okay, those are the requirements for coaches. Now I do want to go into a little bit more depth regarding the Special Services Certificate endorsement. There's a couple components to that you will need to have done. So let's refer back to the link to this email that we have here. So attached to this email were several attachments. One was the Special Services Certificate. A little bit lengthy, so I'm going to break this down with you as far as the time requirements, because this by far is the most lengthy step. You will, in addition to those other 3 NFHS courses, need to take 1, potentially 2 more. So please read these and figure out what applies to you. If you are applying for this Special Services Certificate, you do need to take a Fundamentals of Coaching class. Or, now please pay attention closely to this, because you can provide a college transcript showing that you have fulfilled the HR requirement. So the human relations requirement, if you have had classes in the past that have been HR related, this might allow you to bypass this Fundamentals of Coaching class. Now this Fundamentals of Coaching class is approximately 9 hours, so I do encourage you to take a look at your college transcripts and see if you can avoid taking this class. If not, please just divvy out this course into multiple days and get it done. We appreciate your work and hard effort into that. In addition, you will need to take a First Aid in Health and Safety for Coaches class. Both of those classes can be found on the NFHS website, and they look like this. This is the Fundamentals of Coaching course. Now, if you have not and do not have an HR class from your undergraduate or from your master's, Please do take this course. It does cost $60. Once everything has been received by Lincoln Christian School, the school will issue you a refund, so please save your receipts. Take this course in addition to the first aid course, which is $55. Once again, save your receipts at the end. Once Lincoln Christian has received all of your coaching requirements, we will issue you a refund. The second step in order to receive your special services certificate for coaching is to go get your fingerprints taken by the State Patrol. Now, this is down next to the airport, the Lincoln Airport, that is. It will potentially cost $50. Once again, the school will reimburse that if there is that fee. But please note that if you have resided in Nebraska for the past 5 years, you do not need to get your fingerprints taken. You just simply need to have all of your addresses ready so that when you go to the Nebraska Department of Education's website, you will submit and put in all of your addresses that you've lived at in Nebraska for the past 5 years. Now, if you've lived outside of Nebraska over the past 5 years, you must get fingerprinted. And it's a very easy task to get fingerprinted. Then the last piece, you will go to the Nebraska Department of Education's website and you will submit an application online. These links here have since been updated, so I will be sending out with the attachment the correct links as well. But go to Nebraska Department of Education, Coaching Services Certificate, and submit an application via there. Then once you're all said and done, send that special services certificate, and once they've sent it back to you, send it over to the Lincoln Christian School. In order for you to receive the actual special services certificate, it will take approximately 6 weeks of turnaround time. So please do note that in this process, you cannot wait till the last week or the last day prior to the start of practice in order to get this done. You have to spread it out. Some of these classes are very lengthy. In addition, in order for you to receive that special services certificate back to you, it will take a minimum 4 to 6 weeks. So please keep that in mind as you complete each of these tasks. At any point in time, if you have any questions, please contact the school. We would love to help you through this process as we appreciate your willingness and your desire to work with our athletes. Please note that each of these steps is a state requirement, either by the Department of Education or by the NSAA. So thank you, and we appreciate your work on these items.